But this is our brand new platform. This has been now the latest version of the HG Insights platform. And what's great about this is that we're incorporating all of the unique graphics, all of the unique intent data that is available through HG Insights, but packaging it into use cases, ways to make sure that your team can be actionable at things that they're trying to do, whether that's territory planning, market sizing, being able to do white space analysis. And as we'll dive into in this session, we're going to be talking a lot about competitive takeout and competitive displacement. When you're trying to show a company that's using one of your competitors, how to get in front of them with information to be able to displace them with your amazing product. So there's lots of great things that this platform can do, and it will continue evolving for many, many years, because this is the main area where our research and development is going to be put into when it comes to a platform space. Now, this is directly coming from the three companies that came together in 2025. As mentioned, HG Insights, you love us. We've been around. We've been delivering amazing data. We're delivering amazing platforms to you. But bringing in a company like TrustRadius, what that does is it adds this qualitative context to it. It helps you to know exactly what people care about, because TrustRadius has provided a way for people to provide reviews on software and software-focused products for many, many, many years. So being able to incorporate that to understand what people like or don't like about certain products into the data mix is now something that we can easily able to do. Also, when bringing in what MadKudu is providing into this platform, this is now a way for you to analyze first-party data, website visits, webinar signups. It allows for you to really score accounts. And also, MadKudu did a fantastic job of building out really easy-to-use platforms. So what that does, it helps to bring all of these various points of data, all of these insights into one space. And yet, that pun was very well intended. So what this means is now you have a platform that has data that you can use, but now it's also a platform that shows you what you can do with that data in a very clear way. So as mentioned, one of the major use cases, and this is one that is fully built out for people that are using RGIP, they can use this as shown today. This is the way for you to do competitive takeout, competitive displacement. So what this is allowing for you to do is to take all of that data that's available through HG Insights and turn this into action-ready battle cards, and also ways to incorporate this back into the HG fold, so that way you can really start to do some strong, actionable work against it. So what the goal of competitive takeout should be is a way for you to identify where your competitor is weak, and also what specific messages you can be using to displace them. But also, as mentioned, because of the incorporation with TrustRadius, do this based on real reviews from users, which is a huge benefit. Also, what this also does is it takes all that work that your sales team may have had to do, doing research, pouring into many different spreadsheets, analysis in different places, and do it in one centralized platform. So that way, work that may have taken days or at best hours, and now do it in truly minutes. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So what I'm going to be first showing you with this is that this is going to be our main HG Insights RGIP. This is the landing screen that you're going to see. And as pointed out, this is highlighting the 14 use cases that allows for you to get into specific ways to drill into the data around your use cases. And as pointing out, some of these are coming soon, but also some of these are fully baked, ready for you to use today. And the one that we're going to be focusing on is competitive takeout, to show you a flavor of what that's available to do. So when we dive into this, what this is going to allow for you to do is start to use things, and we're going to be diving into a tool called Competitive Analyst. And this is, as mentioned, an AI-based tool, also known as our competitive intelligence agent. When we go ahead and take a look at this, this is where then you get this landing screen. And this is a landing screen that you should be able to access as you see fit. So if you dive over to discovery.hgdata.com/competitive, you should be able to follow along with me through a good portion of this demonstration as well. What we're going to do is we're going to do a search, and I'm going to do a search for a company called Algolia. They run much of the search that you're finding on websites across the web. a fantastic company. So I'm going to say that I work for Algolia inside of this example. So it's going to say, we found you as a product, and now it's doing AI analysis. And what this is immediately showing is who are my competitors, typically when it comes to people that are making decisions on search for their websites, for their applications. And this is giving that overall list. Notice it's doing a search by all countries and by all sizes at this point. Through simple plain text, I can go ahead and say, how can I start filtering this list down? But I already get some great information from this because I can start to see who are the competitors that it has found. Also, it is finding who I'm typically displacing when it comes to this, and also who is displacing Algolia as well. So that way we get a lot of analysis without having to do anything more than just simply putting in our product name. But I can filter this down. So if I said, as an example, I want to see only companies that are focused with a presence in the United States. And that's going to be specifically the domestic parent in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and give this example, say, show me my US competitive position. It's going to do some analysis here. And you can see it went ahead and filtered it by the United States based on what we have here. So based on this, we should be able to see from this view that Elasticsearch is our main competitor so far, based on this information. If I go ahead and say, let's filter this down a little bit further. So let's say, show me my competitive position, maybe by companies of a certain size. Let's say I'm going after those that have maybe a smaller presence, more of a startup presence or a fast growing presence, like those that have employees around 50 to 100. So I'm going to say, show me companies with employees between 50 and 100. Now it's going to go ahead and filter this down. And it gave me what we had here. So it says, in this case, we're actually going to show you those that have between 51 and 200, which includes the range that I looked for. And now we are starting to see this. And once again, it shows that regardless of whether they're based in the United States, whether their company size is unlimited all the way down to the size that I want, this is showing that Elasticsearch is my main competitor here. Okay, so at this point, now I know this is the main company that I could potentially displace, since they are the ones that have the most amount using that competition at this point. So if I go ahead and click onto this, now it gives me very clear ways that I can start to break this down. The first is if I click where to win. What this is now going to do is it's going to do a comparison. We're start building that AI-based battle card here to be able to break down the differences between Algolia and Elasticsearch. So what this is starting to do is it's showing me key insights where Algolia has strength, also in what target areas it has strength in it, and also starts to give me angles that I can start to take place. And it starts to break all of this information down. It's amazingly helpful. But then it keeps getting deeper, because at this point, I could go ahead and start to say, well, which companies are the great targets for this? So if I do that, you can see that it starts to give me information that I can easily use and then extract back in to HG Insights. So I can go ahead and say, I can get this full list. I can take the CSV. I can easily bring it into the platform so I can do further analysis on it. Maybe rather than using this tool, I can use it within the platform itself. There's a lot of things that can be done. But then on top of that, then this is where we can really start to prepare our battle cards. We can start running this. And once again, we can see this is where we can create the battle card, the email sequence that's associated with this. And notice this is powered by our friends, TrustRadius. So let's go ahead and hit generate to say, how can I start to develop that battle card for my sales team to use? Well, it's crafting it as we speak. And what's going to be great about this is, once again, this was work that probably took days upon days to be able to get done. But now, because we're pulling in all of these data points and all of these data points that are going to be especially helpful for this process, now we can see here, these are the key weaknesses that we're finding because of user reviews. These are the advantages that Algolia provides. And then we're able to incorporate some of those into email campaigns. And as you can see, it's a very simple copy place through all the standard part processes that happen to be there. What's wonderful about this, as mentioned, is if I said here that I wanted to find those targets that are using Elasticsearch, it's showing here because what we can determine is how long have they been using a customer, what if they're likely paying. They can look at the location penetration itself. So rather than just saying this company is using it, what specific office is using it? What location are they using it into? And we can even start using renewing signals when we're looking at something like this. So as you can see, taking that CSV and bringing it into our system as a segment and being able to then start to do further analysis on top of all of this based on all of the data that's available within the platform, it can be done. And this is the exact list that we just pulled here, saying that we want to show only those that happen to be the United States, that happen to have that employee mix that we wanted, that are using Elasticsearch and are not using Algolia. But it doesn't stop there as well, because what's wonderful about this is that we can also bring this into the sales copilot that happens to be within the platform as well, and be able to do a similar search, but also able to use some new features. So one of the great ones that happens to be there is this one that I've added that is called estimated renewal date. So based on information we have around contracts, about how they've been using the system, who is likely to be expecting to renew with Elasticsearch within the next 3 months. And as you can see, this list is going to be specifically very, very focused. And then that gives your team very clear targets to go after for your competitive displacement efforts.